Here's the reason why motivation and self-discipline will never work for you. I have a theory, and it's called the fish in water theory. There are some people, they seem to have 48 hours in a day. They do so much. They're taking care of the families, they have a job, they have like all these things going on, and yet they seem to radiate from within. And then there's most people who are burnt out doing the bare minimum. You're so busy and you feel like you're doing a lot, but there's nothing coming out of it. And what I found is not all work is equal. Sometimes you're doing something and you're trying your best to be motivated, but it's not happening long term. And the way to fix it is the fish in water theory. Einstein had a quote like, if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, the fish will live its whole life believing it's stupid. So a lot of us are fish trying to fly. We're phoenix in water. We're doing things that don't suit us and we detest, and still trying to enjoy it and wondering why we're feeling burnt out. But when you're doing that thing which you love, you can do it for hours, you can do it for days on end, and yet you feel even more energetic. Because I was trying for a long time to be very productive. I'd watch those productivity videos and put them into action. If you look at my channel, I passed the bar exam because I was able to study 8 hours a day continuously, like strictly. And I would do what they said, but I'd feel so burnt out and I wouldn't be able to do it long terms. And I have no problem with doing something for a short time if you need like a short-term goal, but sometimes you want like to be organized and productive and creative and be those people who can quote unquote do a lot but also be like rejuvenated, you know? And I realized that there are times when I was in the state. When I was in high school, I loved the choir. Okay, I loved going to choir. Sometimes we would practice all the way to 11 p.m. We would practice. We had to like work out so that our stamina is there for us to be able to sing, because our choir from our school was known as the best choir in the whole country. So that's how awesome it was. So we used to like practice, and we would be there day in and day out preparing for the competitions. And I never felt tired at all. I enjoyed it. I didn't even feel like I was working. But some other people quit the choir because they were like, this is too much. This is too much. I can't do this. So it made me realize, if you're doing something that you love and it's tapping into that specific skill set you have and you're enjoying it, it's challenging you, but you know that when you do it, you're gonna get to where you're going. It gives you such satisfaction. You don't need to force yourself to be productive. If you find that thing to do where you're a fish in water, you will not need to force yourself to be productive. That is my theory, because I never had to force myself to be productive when I was in choir. They had some crazy rules. We couldn't even eat snacks because we were preserving our voice. And I love snacks, but I never ate any snacks because I just wanted us to win. So here are some of the mistakes you're making. Number one, you're not getting any results from your productivity. There's nothing that will kill your vibe more than disappointment. Disappointment dries the bones, okay? So if you're doing something and you're not getting results, I promise you're either gonna get burnt out if you keep doing it, or you're gonna quit. That's why a lot of people can't stick to their diets, because they're not seeing results. A lot of people quit their jobs because they're not getting the results they want in that job. So that's one mistake you're doing. You keep doing something and you're not getting results. So either change what you're doing and start seeing results, you'll want to stick to it more and you'll feel more alive, or just stop doing it and figure things out. So number two mistake that you're making is that you're not doing something you are aligned with, that you enjoy, that that is for you, that is authentically for you. If you're in a space where it feels like every day you're being forced to do that thing, I promise you're gonna get burnt out. And no matter how hard you try to be productive, it's gonna suck. And I know this because I have done, for example, my least favorite course when I was studying law was accounting for lawyers. I don't know what it is about that course. I hated it. And every time I'd have to sit in class, it felt like the minutes were ticking away like very slowly. I disliked it. But the classes that I loved, oh my gosh, I used to, time would just pass. And how I know that you can't always just do things that you enjoy. There are things you have to do, obviously. But again, you could always delegate those small things that suck up your energy and prepare yourself for this task that you're gonna absolutely dislike. So yeah, that's number 2. And then number 3 is you are trying to be productive when you're in the wrong state of mind. You're not always in the same state of mind. Athletes have this thing called flow state. It's where you lose track of time. You're so immersed in the thing that you're working at like 100% efficiency, And this state, everybody's been in this state when you're playing a game and you're so immersed that when somebody like pulls you out of it, you get so annoyed with them, or you're like, oh, where did the time go? That is the flow state. So if you're doing things and you're not in the flow state, you're just like scattered, you're not being able to immerse yourself in it, the work will feel so heavy and tiring because every minute is passing by slowly. How it's mental fatigue is that if somebody invited you to do something that maybe is physically intensive, but it's not that, you suddenly get energy, right? So the thing is, when you learn how to get into this flow state and work, you'll see that you'll get tired less, even if you're doing more. You're doing a lot, but because you are in this creative state where you're utilizing both sides of your brain, you're focused, you're immersed, not only does it not feel like work, it's actually enjoyable. The 4th thing is that you're trying to apply somebody else's structure and solution to you who is completely different from them. Every single person is unique. That's a fact. Your fingerprints prove that. So just because you get advice from the internet doesn't mean you should directly just try and do exactly what they do. Wake up at 5 a.m., shower cold water. That is not how it works. You'd rather pick the essence of what they're doing. Maybe their 5 a.m. wake up is so to give them some sort of structure. So you can get structure even if you wake up at 7 a.m. It's not a cookie cutter thing, right? So instead of trying to apply exactly what they're doing, you pick what resonated with you and apply it to your own life. So even if you're watching this video and there are some things you want to implement, how about you try and see how you can implement it in your own life based on your circumstances. Don't overhaul everything and start from scratch. That's another form of self-sabotage. When you find something new on the internet and decide what I've been doing, I'm going to throw it all away and then start something new every single time, doing that over and over again, and then ending up in the same place. It's like 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Like you're always back and forth, so you feel really stuck. And when I learned about those mistakes and changed them, everything changed. I want to talk about it in the next video, the solutions to this mistakes to get into that fish in water scenario where everything is easy. You're not a fish trying to fly, trying to climb a tree, but you're a fish in water, you're a phoenix flying.